When the economy collapses and money becomes worthless, most people will starve because they never learned how to trade goods and services for what they need. But there's a bartering system that can get you anything you need, even when traditional currency has no value and resources are scarce. I'm talking about strategic bartering, the art of creating value through trade relationships that benefit all parties involved. While everyone else is hoarding resources or trying to use worthless money, the survivors are creating trading networks that provide access to resources, services, and opportunities that would be impossible to obtain any other way. Let me give you an example that could save your life. You need medical supplies for an injured family member, but the local pharmacy is closed and money is worthless. Most people would give up or try to break in. But the smart survivor would identify someone who has medical supplies and figure out what they need in exchange. Maybe they need help with manual labor. Maybe they need someone to watch their children. Maybe they need help with repairs. The survivor creates a trade that benefits both parties. Here's what most people don't understand about bartering. It's not just about trading objects. It's about trading value. The survivors understand that skills, services, information, and access can be just as valuable as physical goods. They understand how to identify what others need and how to position themselves to provide it. This is exactly what I teach in When All Hell Breaks Loose, stuff you need to survive when disaster strikes. You'll learn how to identify your tradable assets, how to assess the value of goods and services, and how to create beneficial trading relationships that provide access to resources you couldn't obtain otherwise. But here's where it gets really interesting. Strategic bartering requires understanding psychology and human motivation. You need to understand what drives people to make trades, how to create trust in trading relationships, and how to structure deals that make everyone feel like they're getting a good deal. Think about it this way. In a barter economy, your ability to create value for others directly determines your access to resources. The people who can provide the most value to others have access to the most resources. The people who can't provide value have access to nothing. The survivors understand that bartering is about creating win-win situations where everyone benefits. They understand how to identify opportunities, how to negotiate effectively, and how to build long-term trading relationships that provide ongoing benefits. The truth is, most people have never learned how to barter effectively. They're completely dependent on monetary systems and have no idea how to create value through direct trade. When those systems fail, they're helpless. Here's what you need to understand about strategic bartering. It's about understanding value from the other person's perspective. You need to understand what they need, what they value, and how to position your offerings to meet their needs effectively. Most survival guides focus on individual self-sufficiency and ignore the trading relationships that can provide access to resources and services that would be impossible to produce individually. They teach you how to do everything yourself, but they don't teach you how to leverage other people's skills and resources. The key is understanding that bartering is about creating value networks where everyone benefits. You need to understand how to identify trading opportunities, how to assess the fair value of goods and services, and how to create trades that build long-term relationships. Bartering also requires understanding how to assess the reliability and trustworthiness of trading partners. You need to understand how to create trades that minimize risk, how to structure deals that provide value to both parties, and how to build trust over time. Skills are often more valuable than goods in bartering situations. If you can provide medical care, mechanical repairs, construction skills, or other valuable services, you have access to resources that people with just goods might not be able to obtain. Information can also be incredibly valuable in bartering situations. If you know where to find resources, how to solve problems, or how to avoid dangers, that information can be traded for goods and services. Don't assume that survival is about individual self-sufficiency. Get When All Hell Breaks Loose and learn the bartering systems that could provide access to anything you need when money becomes worthless. Because the truth is, in a post-monetary world, your ability to create value for others determines your access to resources.